Yeah, there's a bit of a lack of venues in Toowoomba, just especially places for under 18 people to go and watch bands. So we've been playing down in Brisbane a fair bit, just because there's a lot bigger scene, there's a bigger following, and it's pretty well organised, a lot of the events.
Something I've noticed about Toowoomba from attending events like the Eating New Festival is that there are a lot of talented and passionate musicians in this town. Unfortunately, for almost a year now, the talented musicians of some of Australia's most original bands have been denied the opportunity to play live to an audience because of the closure of live music venues and cancellation of gigs around Toowoomba.
On a local level, I came to Toowoomba in 73, 74, that's 30 years ago, after having already had quite a bit of experience in Brisbane. There were a number of local venues in Toowoomba, pubs where we could play. We were playing every weekend. There was also support gigs with touring bands. It was a great opportunity to get out and play at venues where other national acts had been playing, and that was great. That doesn't seem to happen as much these days. Local Toowoomba bands aren't getting to that level where they get the exposure, where they get to play at venues that are used to having top name acts.
I started playing, I left school in 87, so I started playing the Christmas holidays, 87, and my friends and I were in a band, it was the Clan, and that was a 6-piece at that time. And we just started playing at the Glad because that was the place to play. It was the only place where we could all go, because that was where punks and skins and art students and freaks and junkies and straight people could all just go and hang out, and that was the only place in town really. And it was pretty huge. You'd have 200 people there, on a Friday night or a Saturday night.
The Glad was a huge place to go. Now it's the CBD, but it used to be a hangout for goths and some heavy metal music, and the live scene was pretty huge down there. It was very casual, very laid back, but it was a lot of uni students or soon-to-be uni students that used to hang out there.
I worked in with the National Hotel when they first started putting bands on. And everyone was sort of pretty excited with that. Everyone was going each week. It didn't matter if it was a country band or a folk band or a punk band. It was the same crowd each week, and I guess it was like the hip place to go.
Welcome to my world. We've got all your favourite sins, but water's warm, so come on. Dive in.
This city was once the home of a thriving music scene, with nationally recognised local bands like Moore and Soil playing to crowds of 700 in the 90s. Gigs these days, when they happen, are lucky to attract a crowd of 50. Obviously, there has been a decline in this once vibrant music scene.
Whereas at the Glad, you could get gigs and you'd sort of get paid, and they're always up for it. You could do Tuesday nights or Wednesday nights and do acoustic things on Sunday afternoons, and whereas in 97 there was nothing. The Glad was really quiet. The only thing happening was Radio Fest.
Of late, from what I can make of it, the scene has almost collapsed and almost disappeared.
The Uni Club today isn't putting any originals on, and there's only really a handful of places, I wouldn't really even call them venues now, that put live music on.
Not just in the live band scene, but every scene used to be healthier in Toowoomba. So, there was the Powerhouse used to be open 3 nights a week, as well as the Uni Club and the Courthouse and the Tats and the Glad and the Norval and the National all had healthy clientele. The band scene always had a venue to go to, such as the Gladstone, the Norval, the Portadown even for a while. And gradually every scene, including mainstream commercial, has degraded over the last 10 years.
I've interviewed the Thumping Bumjoys, and some of the members in that used to be in Blowhard, and they remember playing at the Irish Club and sort of like 300 people showing up and not being able to fit in the venue and those sort of things. Like, I think it's not just Toowoomba though, like they can see like Blowhard do shows in Brisbane now, and they used to pull say 500 in Brisbane and now they're pulling like 150, 200. So I don't think it's really the Toowoomba's I don't know, that special with that sort of thing.
Management changed at just about every venue I've worked at, and with that the attitude of the management changes too. Some managers supported trying to promote original music, while other managers supported trying to make as much money as they can. In recent times, basically all the managers in just about every venue in this town are going for the dollars. Therefore, cover bands, duos, and original music doesn't get a chance.
Because economics are so crucial to it. Hoteliers have to make a living, and it's much easier for them to have somebody with a karaoke machine and a microphone. It's a lot cheaper. Switch it off, go home under one arm. With a full band, you've got perhaps 4 or 5 people you've got to pay, and obviously they've got a lot more gear. So it becomes a logistics exercise, and certainly an economic one, when you're looking at putting entertainment into hotels.
Management in some venues I've worked in recently have basically gone for the mainstream approach, the DJs in a nightclub, which is as commercial as you can go, makes the most amount of money by alcohol sales, but does not do anything to promote original music at all. And that's the attitude they have adopted. And it's sad because new up-and-coming bands do not get a go.
But there is hope. Some dedicated people have worked hard through Bazoo magazine, the Edeka New Festival and other things to promote interest in local bands with a young audience. The scene may be starting to recover again.
I don't think we realised how much of a need there was for live music. Like Edeka was sort of the start for us, and then especially this year with the push, it's just been huge. And then Rural Tour and everything, and a lot of the bands want more communication now. So we felt that from a promotional perspective, it's a lot easier to make contact with bands and get the support and the enthusiasm, because there's a lot more points of communication between them all, like with the forums, a couple of the places around town like Bono's and C7, everyone sort of goes to now. There's a lot more talking and a lot more blending of the different genres of music. So from a promotional perspective, we try to push that as opposed to just one particular style of music. We'd like to embrace all of them.
The underage scene in Toowoomba at the moment is huge. It's been huge for the last, I'd say, probably year or so. The kids just want to see anything and everything. The overage scene is a completely different story. It doesn't seem, overage people don't seem excited to go see live bands anymore. I guess it's picking up though. The recent Metropole show we had 60, 70 people turn up to, so I think it's definitely on the rise with things are starting to happen.
Through things I've seen recently at like the Edeka Festival and some other Bazoo events, that there's a lot of upcoming young bands, and maybe the trends are going to go back towards live music instead of mainstream nightclubs.